Hello, hello. What's all this then? Welcome back to Aetheral Space 17.31, that hollow sense of self.
What happened to you?
What do you mean?
You've never talked like that before.
Sorry. That was the original personality of this body.
Oh. It's just some random British guy?
Yeah.
What, so this think? I've got some Doctor Who to watch at home.
Oi, I've been in the sunken place for 10 bloody years.
Wait, did you just watch Get Out?
No.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Alright. Well, without further ado, now that you're out of the sunken place, would you like to read Aetheral Space?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I've never been in the sunken place.
Aetheral Space 17.31. That hollow sense of self. Day 3. The captain crossed his arms as he looked out at the celebration consuming Ward 1. Standing atop a secluded observation tower, he had a good view of the entire district. He didn't especially like what he saw. Fireworks shut up. The sky was as pale as ever, so when the fireworks popped, they did so with clouds of dancing, dark smoke that played shadow puppets across the firmament. He narrowed his eyes as his gaze drifted down to the teeming crowd celebrating without even knowing what they were celebrating. Celebrating simply because they had been told it was a good day. Was that how thoroughly Zephyr Pandershi had brainwashed his people? How did a world even end up like this? Even the supremacy wasn't as bad. The supremacy. The captain's grip tightened on his forearm as the thought crossed his mind. Why is there a 1 up there?
Where?
Oh. I see. Ward 1. Okay. It was strange. Despite how much more dystopian this place was, it didn't inspire as much fury in him as the supremacy did. Perhaps that was just proof of his hypocrisy right there. Nermut hadn't left that burning hell behind him. Nermut hadn't taken everything away. Skipper, Serena, Ruth, Bruno, scattered like ashes, one after another. Nermut hadn't left Dragon Hadrian all alone. No matter what else it did to him, he could never hate Nermut as much as he hated the supremacy. That was why it was vital he acquired permutation. Once he had it, he could secure it and ensure the current ritual continued in perpetuity. Then he could begin negotiations with the other variants. At least a few would come over to his side, and they could form a united... Oh, I lost my place. Where'd you move it to?
United Front.
And they could form a united front against the supremacy. Perhaps they could even interfere with the armaments somehow, and have it spawn further variants to reinforce them. The captain's runaway dreams were put on pause as he sensed a presence behind him. Ruth Blaine. The real Ruth Blaine. She stepped up to the railing beside him, looking out over the city. Somehow, up here, the sounds of the crowd below seemed somewhat muted. Maybe that was another dog-shit invention from Zephyr Pandershi. Ruth's eyes softened as she took in the view. "Remember the Nyane?" she asked. "Back on Talden?" the captain replied. "Yeah." Ruth nodded vaguely. "Right. You've got his memories of it, obviously." The captain shot her a glare. "I've got my memories of it. I am him. At least up to a certain point." They stood in silence for a moment, the near-silent party washing over them, before the captain spoke again. He was getting sick of this shit. Since the moment he'd met this Ruth Blaine, she'd been looking at him with those damn eyes, and he wasn't just going to take it anymore. "There's something you need to ask Dragon Hadrian, right?" he grunted. "Go ahead. Ask me." Ruth looked away. "You're not—" "Like I said, I am him. Up to a certain point," the captain snapped. "I'm just Dragon Hadrian if shit hit the fan at a different angle. If it's about anything before Elysian Fields, I can answer it." Another long stretch of silence. And when it became clear Ruth wasn't going to speak, the captain took it upon himself to do so again. "Is it about what you said?" he quietly asked. "On Kalis Breck? That dumb promise?" He chuckled humorlessly. "I'll show you people are good, right? Yeah, I'm really seeing it. Really, really feeling the love." Ruth took a deep breath. "So you do think about it," she whispered. "Can't speak for the other version of me. But yeah," the captain shrugged. "I think about it. I think about it a lot." Ruth slowly nodded. It looked like she was about to say something else, but the words died on her lips. The captain groaned. It looked like the duty of conversation was up to him. You say I'm not Dragon Hadrian, he said bitterly. You say me and all the others are just fakes. Then you go and ask me for Dragon Hadrian's opinions. Which is it, Ruth? She sighed. I don't know. It's not exactly a normal situation. Tell me when we've ever been in a normal situation, the captain smirked. Just one time. There was like a half hour when we were at the final church's true meet. That beach, remember? That was fun. Didn't we get attacked by exploding zombies right after that? The captain asked dubiously. Yeah, but that was afterwards. Another sequence of fireworks went up, filling the sky with gray and black spirals. The captain leaned over the railing to get a better look, and to focus on Dragana for a moment. With Taurus Mortar still locked onto her, he could read her positional data. She'd gone deeper into Oberon than expected, but she was still breathing, and she hadn't yet given the emergency signal. For the time being, then, they'd stay the course. I said goodbye to you a long time ago, Ruth, the captain muttered. You and all the rest. I guess you haven't been able to do the same to me. You're not... Dragon's not dead, Ruth protested. Is he not? The captain looked back over his shoulder at her, his bandaged face somber. From what I've heard, it sounds like he's not the same person you traveled with. Your goal's to save him, right? That's because you want that person back. If you do save him, and he can't go back to being that person, what will you do? Once again, the words wouldn't put themselves together in Ruth's brain. It's just food for thought. The captain pushed himself off the railing. Besides, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be the one who gets permutation, so old Dragon Hadrian ain't getting out of there anytime soon. He grinned. Right? Ruth snorted. You can try. That's all I know. Something of an old bond lingered in the air, perhaps sparking back to life, but only for a moment. Soon enough came the sound of a toy Muzazi's heavy boots on the metal floor, and he stepped into view, gaze set on Oberon's gates. He nodded to himself. This is a good vantage point, he said. Sure, the captain replied, all warmth replaced with cold courtesy. What's the situation with, Miss Hadrian? Muzazi asked, the words clumsy in his mouth. Has she begun her infiltration? She's in Oberon, the captain replied, but she's not moving around as we planned. She's gone deeper in, but she's basically stationary. Muzazi frowned. Has she been captured? Possibly. Possit! Muzazi spluttered. Well then, we should get in there and assist. She hasn't given the signal yet. The captain glanced back at him. She's not helpless, you know. That ability of hers is trickier than you might think. The signal? Muzazi slowly shook his head in disbelief. What if she isn't able to give the signal? If she was knocked unconscious, or, why forbid, killed, they could have just brought her body deeper in. The captain shook his own head in response. If she was killed, Taurus Mortar would have lost the tracking, and that tracking's got a hell of a lot of fidelity, you know. I can tell if her damn heartbeat changes. She's alive and she's conscious, trust me. Until she gives the signal, I'm not moving. We did all agree to that, Ruth grunted from beside him. Muzazi looked like he was about to argue further, but then his mouth snapped shut, and his face went pale. Silver aether crackling around him, he turned on his heel to look into the empty distance. Ruth and the captain exchanged a look. You okay there, Muzazi? Ruth asked. The signal, Muzazi murmured. The captain waved a hand. Typer, Honey? So loud?
Sorry.
The loudest typer? The captain waved a hand. That's what I'm saying, he snapped, a sharp note of irritation entering his voice. We're not moving until Dragana gives the signal. Muzazi shook his head. From his hand a radiant ignited, white light washing over the dark tower. For a moment he closed his eyes, as if trying to confirm something, and when those eyes snapped back open, the tension on his face had doubled. Not that signal, he said brusquely. I left one of my thrusters on Worm's palm. Minimum power, minimum light, barely even extant. If he taps his fingers against it 3 times, that's the signal. The signal for what? Ruth asked. Muzazi looked over her shoulder at her, lowering his body into a combat-ready stance. My apologies, he said simply. I'll be back as soon as I can. Before either Ruth or the captain could say another word, it happened. The silence that had reigned over the top of the tower was interrupted by the echoing sounds of ocean life. Swimming fish, squeaking dolphins, singing whales, and the air around them all took on a blue and crackling tinge. It was Worm's ability, Aquarius Covenant. Atoy Muzazi took a deep breath, leapt forward into the center of the phantasmagoria, and in a flash of blue light disappeared. Aquarius Covenant. Brother Worm forced the intent through his fading consciousness as he was lifted off the ground, neck caught between the flat sides of two of the enemy's finger blades. Are you me? Oh wait, no, this is you. You do the voice good.
Are you me? Are you really me? I don't believe it. So weak. I don't believe it. It's embarrassing. Don't look.
Capricorn slowly cocked its head as they came face to face, looking at him with with nightmarish curiosity. Worm looked right back at that poorly reconstructed face, stared into those fused glass lenses, searching for any sign of sanity, anything he could leverage to get out of this mess. There was nothing there. Over on the ground a few meters away, Rayansh Patel lay on the ground, clutching his gut with both hands. Whatever Darkstar had done with his body, it was making itself known here and now. Even from here, Worm could see Patel's skin squirming.
Hey! Capricorn leaning... Oh, sorry.
You got it. Go ahead.
Leaning closer, his voice almost childlike. I asked you a question. A question? Me? Are you really me? The real me? No, he doesn't exist right now. Which one are you? Are you strong? Are you strong? You've got to tell me. You've got to tell me, okay?
Worm lifted an arm.
You don't need that.
Worm's arm fell right back down onto the ground, cleanly severed at the elbow. The priest played his part and screamed, clutching the stump, but this was a flavor of pain he was used to. This wasn't yet the worst situation. Capricorn hadn't noticed, after all. That hand it had just cut off already had all its fingernails missing.
No. Did that come through on the mic, what I just did?
Yeah, the no. The creature hissed.
You're no good. Pathetic. Weak. Worthless. Worthless. You've barely got any strength at all. But I'll take it. Both of you. I'll take it.
It opened its maw of iron teeth wide, wide, inhumanly wide, and its voice oozed from the shredding blades deeper within.
Slaughterhouse!
Tanhoney?
Did that not come through?
Not for me.
Oh, okay, let me try again. Slaughterhouse!
Enough. Light moved. A sudden sharp strobe that broke Capricorn's grip immediately, sending Worm down to the ground. A second later, the white light zipped past again, and when it cleared... I lost my place. And when it cleared, Worm had been brought back to a safe distance. The owner of the light, who until now had been moving with enough speed to stay unseen, stood protectively in front of him and Rayansh. Atoy Muzazi, white blade pouring from his palm. Just as they'd planned, Aquarius Covenant had brought him right back to them when the need had arisen. He raised his radiant, pointing it at a monstrosity of flesh and metal. I take it you too are Dragon Hadrian? There should be commas after you and two.
No, it doesn't need to be.
Isn't it, I forgot the term for it, a pa something?
No, it feels okay.
Alright, if you're sure. The swordsman asked dryly, gaze flicking between each of Capricorn's 10 blades. I have no desire to engage you right now, but if I have to, it shall be the only time. Death lingered in the air between them, and slowly, Capricorn narrowed the lights it had instead of eyes. Don't you die. Don't you dare die. Dragon Hadrian, I will not allow you to die here. Without another word, Capricorn leapt back into the darkness, disappearing from sight. The blue lights of its eyes lingered for just a moment longer, locked onto Atoy Muzazi's face, before fading too. Even the malevolent pressure generated by its aether trickled away. Brother Worm finally let out a breath. It was gone. Muzazi looked back at Worm, his expression softening. Are you all right, my friend? Then his eyes flicked to Worm's severed arm. Ah, clearly not. Slowly, Rayansh picked himself up, one hand still clutching his stomach. Whatever had been happening to his body seemed to have stabilized. I'll get the panacea. he gasped, face pale. There was still some left over from what they'd gathered in their earlier raid. "See that you do," Muzazi nodded curtly. He turned back to look down Ward 8's hill to the other end of the district. "I told them I'd head straight back once my business here was done. But it seems the situation is more complicated than I anticipated. Those lights by the tram station. Zipan forces?" Ranch nodded as he dug through the dirt for their hidden cache. "A leader in the Sealy Rangers, from what I gathered. A blowhard, but not an unskilled one. I doubt he's a match for you, but don't take him lightly." "If possible, I'd prefer to avoid fighting him at all," Muzazi murmured, looking down at his radiant somberly. "How many times can a man swing a sword before it becomes too many?" Rayanch looked at him, perturbed, as if Muzazi had just said the sky was falling down. "You're a warrior," he said, aghast. "The sword is a part of your soul. To fight is to live. Why would someone like you ever ask that?" Muzazi let the radiant fade away, specks of light lingering in the air before slowly dwindling too. "A warrior, you say?" he mused. "Strange. A long time ago, I think I would have agreed with you there. Looking back, though, I can say I've met killers and brutes, soldiers and survivors, all manner of human beings with lethal intent, using it in myriad ways. But I can't say I've ever met a warrior before." Without another word, he kicked off the ground, becoming a streak of silver light that surged through the air towards the tram station. Rayanch watched him go, a strange feeling squirming in his chest. It was a sensation that had nothing to do with Nyane's infestation. For so long now, Rayanch Patel had sought out the mantle of a warrior. He had joined the citizens' band with that in mind. He had fought on the streets of Talden with that in mind. Perhaps in his own pathetic way, he had even let Darkstar absorb him with that in mind. And now at Toy Muzazi, the man who in the depths of his heart Rayanch saw as the personification of that ideal, said that such warriors did not exist. Rayanch looked down at his mission. He who had assigned himself a hollow quest and failed to carry it out. He who had been effortlessly defeated by evil and made into a nest for it. He who had offered himself cold comfort with the thrust of a knife, and finally lost even that escape. If he was not a warrior, then who could he be? "His condition?" Nicholas Quicks asked, kneeling down next to the metapod containing the unfortunate Tam Zenhalti. "He's stable," the squad's medic, Alicia Torch, nodded curtly. Nicholas looked into the frozen glass of the pod and the pale face of the boy within. The lad had suffered grievously before Nicholas had arrived. One arm torn away by that beast, his stomach opened up, his entrails slipping out. Nicholas had ordered all involved to survive, but even so it was a miracle that Tamsin had managed to hang on until they got him in the metapod. It wouldn't heal him, but it would at least keep him alive until they could get back to Oberon's advanced medical facilities. Standing, Nicholas took in a quick accounting of his squad's injuries. Truly atrocious. Tamsin was the only one bad enough to need a metapod, but each drop of spilt blood still carved a line through Nicholas's heart. The strength of the Sealy Rangers came from their formation. Their intended role on the battlefield was to combine their shared abilities, Sealy gun, shield, sword, etc., to provide backup for a more powerful individual fighter, like an Unsealy or a top-class Sealy Ranger. By allowing himself to be dragged away like that, Nicholas had forced his support squad to face a beast like that alone, and once it had broken their formation, this result was inevitable. He would have to do better in the future, train his body harder, sharpen his mind further. Only then could Nicholas Quicks call himself a warrior of Zipan. Thump! Nicholas's eyes widened. Something had just come down. From the sound, human-sized. Had that Capricorn creature returned to finish the job? His hand flew to his racket, whipping it out in a smooth motion as he whirled around, facing the source of the sudden sound. It was not Capricorn. Instead, a man in a white coat stood across from Nicholas, looking over his wounded squad. Half of the man's face was marked by scars, and from his hand a blade of white light blazed. Nicholas stepped forward, the shield before his men. "Name yourself," he demanded. Popcorn.
"Toy Muzazi," the man replied, "former special officer of the Supremacy." His eyes drifted across the injured. "I suggest you leave this place." Toy Muzazi. Nicholas knew that name. He was one of the rapscallions that had infiltrated the city, together with the Nebula Ruth Blaine. By all rights, Nicholas should have engaged in combat then and there. But another battle was a weight his squad could not bear. You speak true, Nicholas quietly admitted. As soon as my men are able to move, we'll be returning to headquarters. The day has taken a heavy toll. He took a deep breath. Will you allow us passage? Otomizazi closed his hands, smothering the radiant blade out of existence. Say that again. I will, he said, and his voice contained only truth. Although we are on enemy sides, I have no quarrel with you, and no desire to execute those unable to fight. I don't want to be a butcher. Say that again.
Shut up. I was trying to find where say that again was there in the text the first time. I didn't realize.
At those last words, Nicholas's grip on his weapon tightened, and in that moment, with his blood running hot, he almost did something very foolish. He stepped forward. His body was about to launch itself at Musashi, with no concern for the situation, and he only barely managed to stop himself. Musashi's cold eyes tracked the movement, and his hand opened again, but he didn't yet reignite his blade. You take issue? He asked, deadly quiet. Your form is familiar, Nicholas growled. That stance, how you ready your sword. You're a disciple of Nigen Rush, are you not? The man who massacred this place. I've done my research into that brute swordplay, preparing so justice may one day be done. That man was nothing if not a butcher, yet you would play virtue? Rosalie stared at him for a long moment, some invisible calculus working behind his eyes. Nicholas tensed up further, wondering if his reckless indiscretion sealed the fates of himself and his men. But Umizazi did not bring his blade out, nor did he advance. Instead, he turned to look into the darkness. Hazley, he said simply, come out. It took a few seconds, but a figure stepped nervously into view out of the gloom, a young girl with 2 swords sheathed at her hips. Nicholas frowned. A mere child was part of the infiltrators group too? I saw the light, she said meekly, eyes flicking between Musashi and the Rangers. You came back. You shouldn't have followed me, Musashi sighed, running a hand down his face. But I suppose it's good that you did. What is this? Nicholas frowned, finally returning his weapon to its sheath. Who is this girl? Musashi turned back to look at him. Her name is Hazley, he said, and she has a story I think will interest you.
Pog?
Pog?
Wait, Pog? Is this always what you had in mind?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Things are heating up.
Oh.
Okay, Arc 17. Okay. He knows ball. We have some questions for you, I believe.
Yeah, I'll take the apology card. Yeah.
Stand on the apology form. Could someone make that? I didn't know Aether. Thought he was washed.
We've got some April questions, yeah.
We do. I'm scrolling. There's so many. Lan asks, did Henry participate in any battles while he was Supreme?
Yes, and we'll see one in this arc.
Rockshark asks, 1. Can the prince be transferred through Aether even if that Aether isn't currently infusing the recipient body?
No, it needs to go into the purse. You need to make physical contact, otherwise it's too much.
2. Can the prince be transferred to and from an awakening?
Yes.
If transferred from, would it kill the awakening transferring it?
It would.
Interesting.
Because the thing is, there's not really a necessity to achieve the prince for the other person to die. It's purely for info security that it kills them on the way out.
Lan also asks, what characters would be able to tell only I was a simulation? Would Winston? What about other cogitants?
Winston will probably be able to figure it out.
Well, we're in some kind of simulation, aren't we?
Well, no, it's kind of despairing because that means if he figures it out, that means oh, I'm not real. I'm a simulation of Winston. Oh.
I guess I have to kill myself now.
Is there a way I can communicate something to the real Winston?
Tell him I love him.
The prince would probably be able to figure out...
chaotic body.
The prince probably would be able to figure out it's in a simulation.
Yeah. It's smart like that.
And the simulated prince would... It would be similar, something similar would happen to what I said would happen if Cadman copied the prince when they start working together, the two of them.
It's terrifying.
The simulated prince would somehow do things like send a coded message to the real prince, through fucking Samset's behavior.
He would twist the simulation to so Samset would do certain actions.
Yeah, once he's back in reality, that the other prince could read and be like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Prince is I understood the subliminal messages.
I'll carry on your will, Prince 2.
Rock Shark says, if Dragon was killed, then would Pan still be able to live on through the Panacea and the galaxy?
If I shot him in the head, then yeah, Pan would be fine.
Lan asks, how much more powerful was Helis Audrey V2 compared to V1? What about V3?
So I would say in terms of strength, there's not a huge gulf between the three Healers Audreys. It's more in their mindset was more suited for the current circumstances.
It became a more hardened person.
Yeah, or it's like the version that won was the version best suited to the current environment.
Damn. Rock Shark asks, if Dragon was being infused to disrupt Gemini World, if a third Aether user moved toward him, would he still be able to activate Gemini Dominion?
Yes, because he'd be regarding them, he wouldn't be regarding himself.
Alright, let's end it there for now. Thank you all for watching, and hey, maybe we'll even see you next time. And if you like Aetheral Space, please don't forget to leave a comment on Royal Road and wherever you listen to this. It is much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Bye.